Good evening from London, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for professional wrestling, insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis. And today is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It means it's time for AEW Dynamite, and we're going to be previewing that today, as well as talking, about WrestleMania. It's just over a week away. I'm so excited about it. And of course, yesterday, Shad did a fantastic job hosting the show, talking about Monday Night Raw. But boy, oh boy, were there some developments for WrestleMania on that show. But let me introduce the panel for today. Let's kick things off with the guy who hosted yesterday, the Tuesday Night Delight, a day late. Shad, how are you, Shad?
What's going on, Ben? It's your boy Shad. Shad Talks Grabs. Follow me on the IG. I'm good over here, man. Definitely been on like almost every show this week, so it's been good. Hopefully the fans are not tired of me, and if they are, kick rocks. But I'm ready to talk dynamite.
Oh,
Let's get
beef,
into it.
beef.
Got it. Heel turn, bro. Come on, man.
I'm away for one day and you've turned heel. Oh my gosh. Well, also joining us is another host, but this is the host of Take It to the Table Chaos. How are you?
What's good? What's good? Happy Wednesday, everybody. Yeah, 2 for 2. Yeah, I've actually found my Booster Ashes shirt. Even though we are going to be talking about AEW, but the final boss, you gotta acknowledge him. So yeah, I had to rock this today. Looking forward to it. Let's straight to LFA.
Absolutely. And last but certainly not least, we have Carter Crisp. Carter, how are you?
Ben, I'm good. I'm in the middle of an action figure purchasing streak. I got the
Oh.
Steiner Bros last night. I'm ready to go. I'm hyped. Mania's coming up. I'm ready.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. It's going to be a fun couple of, it's going to be a fun couple of weeks, but especially next week. We're trying to figure out how we're going to do content because there's just so much stuff to cover. You guys can tell it by my face. I'm so excited for it. With Jason in the comments as well. It's great to have you here, Jason. And let's just jump straight into talking about WrestleMania 40 because there's been a lot of talk after this week's Raw. Are we in a new era? Are we in the Renaissance era of WWE? But more specifically as well, is this the best WrestleMania, the best built WrestleMania main event since WrestleMania 30? And honestly, I think there's an argument for it. And I know what people are saying, and let's be real, I've said it as well. The build's kind of more for Cody and Rock rather than Cody and Roman. But at the same time, providing The Rock and Roman do win night one, then we could have what Shad talked about yesterday, a civil war on night two, where we have Cody assemble his Avengers to take on the Bloodline, and we could just see an absolutely chaotic main event, a ridiculously overbooked mess that I actually really want to see. And rarely do you hear me say that. Shad, I'm going to go to you first. What are your thoughts? Is this the best built main event in a decade?
Yes, it is the best built main event in a decade.
Wow.
Off two reasons. One, you have this being built from last year's Mania. The story has continued going on for a calendar year. That alone is incredible. Long term storytelling is what we love and is what we don't get as much in this current day of wrestling on many promotions. Let it be WWE. Like the last great one I know was probably the Hangman and the Elite one from a few years ago. But
Oh,
like
that was good.
this has been a long-term story regarding Cody Rhodes. So that within itself, and now you add The Rock in it, and you're a fool if you're just not gonna acknowledge the presence of who the final boss is. Like, we haven't gotten The Rock like in a serious storyline in quite a while now, and you get him completely different form of himself as a heel. It fits so well to the times of him as a man, as within his age and his profession. And then it's just also like there's so many stuff connected to it. Then you have the whole bloodline tied to it with Roman and his, you know, long title reign and the part with his family. Like, I just feel everything has been, cinematic. I know the term
Yeah.
cinema is kind of overused in a lot of ways, but it feels like a movie. Like, I feel like we've been watching a movie display these last few years, and it's one of those cases where if it continues, that's interesting, but it may be the very end. This may be the final cut scene of the movie, and you know, I know we complain about, hey man, in my opinion, man,
Not happening. It's
but
not happening.
it may be the final cutscene, or it may be a next chapter to it. We don't know, and that's the beauty of it. So I think this has been the best book main event in the last decade, and I think this may, like, night one may be one of the best main events booked in WrestleMania like history, man, because everybody on there is just a heavyweight. You got The Rock. You got Roman, you got the beloved Cody Rhodes, who's, developed himself as a top tier babyface. And then you got Seth Rollins, who's a a guy that has been criminally underrated as a star in this business. So yeah, man, I'm giving it 2 thumbs up to your question.
Oh, absolutely. Just even you talking about it there is getting me more excited. I mean, Jason saying, is the PG era gone? Are they bringing back the Attitude Era? I mean, I'm going to be completely honest here. I don't think they're bringing back the Attitude Era. But I do think it's a new era. That is for sure. I mean, based on what we heard on Raw, it sounds like they are going to be a bit edgier when they move to Netflix, which really shocks me, actually. I didn't see that coming. Maybe we will get TV 14 again, or maybe it will just be PG. Who knows? But what I do know, Shad, is you mentioned the word cinema, and I didn't think it was possible to hear someone rolling their eyes. But when I first related the Hangman and Swerve storyline to the word cinema, you could hear David Sheldon's eyes roll. That's how much he hates that term. And now every time I think of it, I'm like, okay, he's fuming every time he's heard
That's
of it.
his niche. That's his niche. I can't be mad at him about it. He's watched
Absolutely
more
not.
movies than I have, and I've lived over a decade longer than him in my lifetime. So
It's probably like, when somebody calls WWE UFC or something like that. That's probably the same thing for him when we call Roman Reigns and some good camera shot cinema. But Chaos, what about you? Best main event in decades?
Oh yeah, 110%. I feel like this is the closest, the last good build to a main event was probably when it was Reigns, Edge, and Daniel Bryan, when it was the triple threat at that Mania. I felt that one was, I think it was the last good one. And then before that, like you said, I think probably is when Daniel Bryan won the championships on Bourbon Street. But yeah, I'm loving this, the build up. This is the first Mania where, since they've split it into 2 nights, where the first night can easily affect the second night. And it's not just the main events. I feel like there's multiple matches that could easily influence. There's multiple matches in the first night that can influence what could happen in the second night. Obviously, we know certain matches are going to have already been announced which day they're going to be on, and there's others that haven't. But yeah, I feel like this one is definitely a very interactive, dynamic 2 night of WrestleMania that yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to. And to that guy's comment about the PG era is definitely gone. Obviously that was evident on Monday, and even when Punk was even saying his little words about saying like his mouth works. I know we're not on Netflix yet, but so And that doesn't surprise me. I feel like it with the streaming giants, there's more. I feel like there's more leeway with to get away with stuff than the very tight grip or the tight rules that you may have on TV. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me, and I'm liking the fact that they're starting this now instead of as they go to Netflix. All of a sudden, there's blood, there's f-bombs everywhere. They're easing people in for this little transition. When we finally go to Netflix, it won't be like in your face, like all of a sudden, that it's just old guns blazing. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it's an Attitude Era, because Attitude Era, there's been some pretty stinkers back there. So I don't think they're not going back to the Attitude Era, but there's definitely edginess that has been long missed from WWE. So yeah, it's a bright future. Can't wait for Mania. I got work the next day on both nights, but I don't care. I'm staying there watching it live both nights. So yeah. That's how you know this is a good Mania. So yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I'm gonna be honest, Chaos. I think maybe when they go to Netflix, maybe they do mention a couple of swear words, not an F-bomb, but maybe a few S's here and there. But I genuinely think they're not easing us in right now. I genuinely just think it's The Rock, it's Roman Reigns, it's Cody Rhodes, it's Seth Rollins, it's the WrestleMania main event. And I reckon they're just bending the rules for this match because they know that if, the more, they can get people built into it and, create suspense for it, then the more people who are going to be interested. And they have been saying so often, this is the biggest WrestleMania of all time. Well, they want to prove that. And they want those viewers. They want everybody to be watching this year's WrestleMania. And just like you, Chaos, I will also be watching live. But thankfully, I've got nothing on the next day, both days, other than more wrestling. What about you, Carter?
I mean, I don't know if Soul's listening. I apologize as the fellow AEW mark. It's just really good booking, Ben. It's just like Shad said, it goes back a year. I mean, it's tied into The Rock coming back into wrestling. It's just like there's two kind of fields of thought around wrestling. There's sports entertainment, and then there's just the sport guys. It's like put the guys in the ring. This is just amazing booking, amazing storytelling. I'm from the sports side, so I will use the word cinema. It's screenwriting. It's just, I mean, and the WWE's on fire right now. I have a feeling it has something to do with how well the business is doing, the fact that they combine with the UFC. Vince is out of the way. I mean, it's just an exciting time to be a WWE fan, to be a wrestling fan. You can pick a side. I mean, I don't suggest it, but you can. But I think the era we're going into too, and I was corrected on Twitter the other day, is it's not the Attitude Era, but it's the Ruthless Aggression Era, which was, I believe, 2000s to 2010s. So it wasn't quite as edgy as Attitude, but also in the Attitude Era, you have to think you had Vince Russo doing some of the writing, and some of that was not good. It didn't age very well. So I think the Bischoff-Heyman rivalry, there was much better writing, and it was much more timeless. And I think that's the era we're getting into. Vince is out of the way. The Rock's in there. H and Shawn Michaels are making a lot of the decisions, and the WWE's on fire right now.
You are right. It truly, truly is on fire. And I mean, you mentioned, Cody Rhodes and how you're liking the story. I do have a question for you real quick, Carter. What are your thoughts on Cody Rhodes' tie clips? It's a big conversation this week.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Well, Ben, and I got to warn you guys, don't worry. Netflix will never air outlaw mud shows. I think Cody should win the title, go back to Stardust, and Vince should let Tony book the WWE. That's my personal call, but I'm the Chikara PWG guy, so, I'm booking
In the words of Batista, what is your malfunction, Clark? Yeah. What's your malfunction?
I'm trying to defend the tie clips.
I got a better idea, Ben.
What's your better idea?
Cody's plates have to be engraved with a tie clip.
Oh no!
That's the way to go.
He'd stop watching.
Oh, he's gonna watch. He loves this job too much.
No. When Cody wins the title, Cody should actually find where Clark lives and then knock on his door and then throw a tie clip at his face and then walk off. That's what we should do. Why not? Just for fun.
Oh,
I know
God.
I'm buying Clark for his birthday now. I'm definitely sending him a tie clip.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We should shower him with tie clips.
He won't
Screw
wear
it.
it. He will go on strike before he
Get it
wears
engraved
it.
with his name on it. I'm gonna get Cody engraved on it. Actually, all right, I'll stop.
We got Soul in the comments saying WWE on Netflix is like the swearing is gonna sound like a Scottish wedding reception. I mean,
Never been to one.
I technically went to one in England earlier this year, but it was by it's my uncle's wedding who is Scottish, so I guess, and there was a Scottish.
Was there a
theme
fire
as well,
before it
so.
even proposed? Was there a fire and fighting before even the?
There
Yeah,
wasn't, but there was the bagpipes. So, and they were wearing the kilts and everything. So,
Oh God.
Nice.
there was a lovely walk. There was a walk from he was playing the bagpipes, so we were walking down to the
Your ears
venue.
bleed.
And I mean they were also filming it right for the wedding documentary. And we got to the place then for the after party, whatever. I was having a couple of drinks, and my cousin comes up to me and he goes, Ben, I hate to let you know, but your flyer's undone. So that entire time in the wedding video, the flyer's undone. It's not great. But I don't actually think you can see, but it was technically. But anyway, and let's now move on from talking about flyers to talking about people who fly, and let's kick that off with Will Ospreay, because Will Ospreay tonight will be taking on Shibata. You guys know me. I'm a big Shibata guy. I have always been a big Shibata guy, but I am not a big fan of this match one bit. It could go well. I hope it does. But every time Shibata is in the ring, I'm worried for him. Because New Japan still won't clear him, right? That's the situation we're in. New Japan still won't even clear him to compete. And we're putting him in the ring with guys who have, a very brutal styles at times. And Danielson, he's an absolute pro. He's a pro's pro. He knows how to protect, an opponent. And even in the match against Danielson, there was one kick which got dangerously close to the head. And Will Ospreay's moveset, pretty much all of it is stuff to do with, hitting the head in some capacity. He cannot hit the Oz cutter today. He cannot hit the elbow thing he does. I guess a 450 splash or whatever he could use to win. But I'm going to be real about this. I just don't think this match is worth the risk one bit. And I love both these guys. And sure, it's a dream match. But it's a dream match that I don't think is worth the possible nightmare. What are your thoughts, Chaos?
I'm tired of this. This is the same argument that people were saying online within the chat when it was Shibata against Danielson. People saying this shouldn't happen. I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat. I'm fearing for my life. And then what happened at the end? Match was it was the match of the night. Sure, obviously there was a couple, maybe a close call or whatever.
Danielson's safer.
Nothing really happened. It does, yes, but I'm pretty sure Ospreay is not going to be reckless. Obviously, we have seen situations where he's hitting the hidden blade countless times, and it looks brutal as hell, and people call him out for it. But yeah, I'm pretty sure as a professional, he should know obviously the do's and don'ts. I don't think it's going to hit the Oz cutter. I don't think it's going to hit the hidden blade. That's totally understandable. But there's a lot more moves in Will Ospreay's arsenal. He's not gonna hit the Tiger Driver. He's definitely not gonna hit the Tiger. You should not.
That's the thing, though. Is there? I'm thinking, pretty much all his moves hit your head. He's got the Storm Driver or whatever, but even that, I'm not sure Shibata at his age is going to be able to take that.
Maybe this might be a way for him to showcase his technical side. Work them body joints. He doesn't have to do all these crazy flip flops. Why not just surprise people with this other area of the game, and then you would have a good match. Either way, whatever happens, I don't think Shibata. I personally believe I don't think Shibata is going to be in danger. I don't know. He might be crazy enough to maybe take one move, and that's going to shock everyone. But yeah, Ospreay and being on worldwide television, I don't think it's going to be doing crazy stuff. I think it will be a safe enough match, and I feel like he probably would do like the 450 if needs be, or maybe he can do a submission. Whatever. I think just want to just show another part of your game that not many people see. Go technical, and you can still put a good match. So yeah, I have no worries about it simply because of how well the last match went. Sure, this is Will Ospreay, and we know how crazy he can be, but yeah, I feel it will see. I think it will still be a fun, enjoyable match. 5-star, maybe not, but yeah, it's a dream match, and why not? New Japan is just overprotective, same as what they did with Daniel Bryan and Edge, and they went WWE cleared them, and look, they're still now. So yeah, it's nothing new. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You walk it off.
I too would agree, but also the Copeland or the Edge and Danielson injuries were very different in regards to they didn't think Shibata was going to be able to move again. Like he was like, they thought his life might have been done for. Like it was a real it's a miracle that the guy's been able to run again. Never mind wrestle again.
Yeah, that.
I mean, listen, I agree with you. I really hope today's a technical, masterclass, a really fun match. And it could be. You are bang on right. Will Ospreay is that talented. He could easily do that to a phenomenal level. We've seen it a bit in his matches with Zack Sabre Jr. But the thing that I'm worried about is Will Ospreay, I don't think likes the word no. I think he likes to always push the bar. And guess who's also like that? Shibata's like that, right? And I think there needs to be an agent in AEW today who steps up and has the balls to say, hang on, guys, you guys are not doing hidden blades into Oz cutters and all this stuff. That's not happening. If it goes well, it could be phenomenal, but I'm just worried. In fact, I'm openly terrified about it because, I mean, I watched that Okada Shibata match live. I always bring it up, I know, but I've never watching wrestling ever been so scared. And I really do not want to see Shibata in that position again because it's just great to see him back, being able to be in the wrestling business. But
I look forward to hearing how great that match was tomorrow's Ben.
I hope you're right. I really do hope you are right on this one. But now let's move on to talk about the next topic, which is actually before we do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. And the reason why I'm probably getting ahead of myself is just because I've been having a bit of an information load recently, right? Whenever I turn my phone on, I'm seeing tons of adverts. I'm seeing tons of everything. There's just too much everywhere. And I think you guys might feel the same way when you're trying to find out where all the Wrestling Republic content is going to be. Is it on Twitter? Is it on Instagram? Is it on YouTube? Who knows? Well, now you don't need to wonder. You don't got to be searching for any of these links. You only need one link, and that link is Next Level, because Next Level, we partnered with them to provide you guys one link for all our content. With all our links on that, it's easy. It simplifies things a lot, and that link is nxconnect.me/Wrestling Republic to see all our content across all platforms, all linked in one easy place. You guys make sure you head over there to make sure you don't miss any of our content. But now let's move on.
You found it. You found it on like Shad did yesterday. Sorry, Shad.
Well, like talk about Shad. Let's bring him in.
That never happened. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
It's chaos. He's living in a mountain with his 144p internet, and
chaos causing chaos.
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
He misheard it. He misheard it yesterday. But now, please tell me I misheard that. Now let's move on, and let's move on to talk about the women's division, right? And we have a couple of comments about this already. Chris Leclerc is hyped, saying it's the number one contenders match. Indeed, he is right. Sky Blue, Anna Jay, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander with Mercedes Moné on commentary. Number one contendership for the TBS Championship tonight. Dynamite, this fatal four-way, I am hyped before. This truly could be a banger of a bout if given time. The question is, will it be given time? Shad, what are your thoughts?
It will be given time. We are starting to see progression in this women's division, and we're starting to see storylines develop in this women's division. And I said it a little bit ago. I really like this TBS women's division the most in AEW. That's no knock on Tony Storm or anything that she does, but I like all these women in this match. I like Julia Hart as champion, and I think she's done a wonderful job. I think Sky Blue is very, very underrated. I think she's been developing a lot as a character, and she's very good in ring. We got Anna Jay is also in the match as well, who's a person that we don't see a lot, but she's also kind of in the division. And then you got Stat, and you got the star of the show, Willow Nightingale. She is going to win the night's match. And how I would book it, I would have her pin Chris Statlander tonight. I think there needs to be friction within her and Stat. I think we need to have a storyline where there's a little bit of animosity. Maybe Stat aligns with Mercedes. Or how about this? Maybe Willow kind of gets the bug in Mercedes's ear, aligns with her, ends up beating Julia Hart, becoming the champion. That's when we get the turn. Mercedes turns on her, then we get heel Mercedes, and we create a great storyline that can be built that will, one, get Mercedes back to heel, because I know you said you like that.
Yeah.
And two, give Willow a phenomenal first feud with the most generational women's wrestler they signed in Mercedes Moné. And two, let her become champion. She's someone that's put a lot of work in, a star within herself. It'll develop her more as a lovable babyface. The fans will get behind it. I'm here for it. Let's start it with step one. Willow wins tonight, and let's get Willow that TBS title off of Julia Hart.
Oh, I'd love to see that, and that's nothing against Julia Hart. I love her too. But just like you, Shad, I'm a Willow guy, and I'm a heel Mercedes guy as well. Put them in a feud together. Yes, please. That would be a little bit of me. I think that would be fantastic. An absolute banger of a bout. And I also really hope you are right about the women's division getting more time, getting more stories. I mean, I'm going to be honest here. I actually don't necessarily think that we have seen that yet, because since Mercedes has shown up, it's been a focus on that rather than Tony Storm instead. And I mean, it's just replacing there being one women's storyline with just being a different women's storyline. Still the same issue.
I do want to see some sort of progression with her too, because I think she doesn't have a next opponent. I think we saw Thunder Rosa get that win next week, but I think Thunder Rosa and Deanna is the feud that we'll see next. So Tony Storm's tricky, man. She's too much of a character.
I reckon we will get the Thunder Rosa match. I reckon that's got Dynasty written all over it. But chaos, your bad internet connection seems to be spreading, because unfortunately we've lost Carter, and instead he has got a replacement. His cousin Carty Carnett has instead shown up. So thankfully the show can continue. Carty Carnett, we're going to be talking about, it's your favorite tag team, the Young Bucks, the Corporate Bucks. They're going to be facing Private Party in a 2019 tournament rematch. Tonight, it's in the tournament once again. Will the Young Bucks go forward, or will it be Private Party? Carty Carnett, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Well, first and foremost, does the greatest mind in the business like to listen to the greatest mind in the business, as we learned on Monday night, Mr. Carty Cornett? Anyways, I want a bacon with extra cheese. So you were concerned about safety, you said, right, Benjamin? Now, when you say the word safety, that's like saying Bloody Mary for me. Now, I'm sure Tony learned how to not break a wrestler's neck running the track machine at the local soccer team in England. But those of us from the business know, all right, what are these two jobbers' name again? The Mr. Private Parties. So the Trampoline Cowboys have found another set of mid-carders for them to do a series of acrobatics and gymnasiums. Now these two gentlemen, they came from a prestigious institution called Combat Zone Wrestling, which for Benjamin, for $19, a hot dog and a handshake, you too can get thrown off the top of a building. Now, are there any other issues that I missed on this particular match?
I mean, maybe. I mean, who do you think is going to go through to the next round of this tournament between these two teams?
I mean, it's obvious going to be my two rec center boys, the old Buckaroos as the executive VPs, going in and causing all sorts of. Speaking of stories and drama, why if these EVPs are so out of control, why doesn't Tony come and do something? But we're not talking about cinema. We're not talking about wrestling. I don't know what we're talking about, Ben.
Breathe, bro. Breathe.
These Buckaroos, man.
What we can talk about is last week, the EVPs, the trampoline presidents, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, Cardi, their new tag team partner, the great Kazuchika Okada, defeated Eddie Kingston to win the Continental Crown. He's the new champion, bringing gold back to the Elite. Are you happy that Okada's got the gold now?
You know, Ben, I don't even know, but I can tell you Uncle Dave Sheldon, I'm sure he gave it 17 stars. Me personally, if I was Okada, I would have joined a prestigious academic institution such as Chase University, but that's just me. So, but Uncle Dave, I'm sure he loves it. I'm sure he loves all that because he loves everything.
Oh, our AEW reviewer David Shelton, I bet, is going to be handing out those stars to this flippy floppity trampoline whoppity, whatever it's going to be tonight
Ben.
on Dynamite. Yeah.
Hey Ben, we have a caller.
A caller?
I ain't taking any disrespect to the AEW division right now. This is absolute heresy. I will not stand for this. And why the hell is this Carty Carnett guy still here? I mean, Allison, I print you off the P45 forms. I've told them to.
Listen, Mr. CM Punk, he wanted to go work for a professional organization with real wrestling, with real stories, with safety protocols where he's not going to get hurt.
Thank you very much for your call. Thank you very much. Please.
Well, Soul Carty Carnett, take it to the table, Chaos. Just an idea, maybe.
Final thing before I go, obviously, because I am very busy man right now on my sabbatical. I'm taking all my annual leave right now as well. Chaos, why is in your search in your phone Nikita Long's feet?
Okay, bye, Soul. Bye, please. Don't worry about that. Bye. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh man, I didn't know Wrestling Republic was in the Attitude Era. Oh man.
No, we're clearly moving into that category. We've got David March. Man. Okay, we've got some comments which really are straight out of the Attitude Era as well. That we had Chris Leclerc saying private party wins.
Chris Leclerc, you are like the betting like odds like under. You're picking all the people that.
I think it's possible, to be honest, because it would, from a storyline perspective, maybe. But one thing which you should always bet on is Bobby Petito. Bobby Petito is here. Hello, Bobby. I hope you are having a great day. Let's now move on. Let's talk about the number one contenders match, what I presume is going to be the main event of Dynamite. Takeshita versus Swerve Strickland. This match, take my money, please, Mr. Tony Khan, because I'm excited for this. I really, really am. These are two fantastic wrestlers. They could put on a fantastic match, but ultimately, all that needs to happen for certain is Swerve Strickland getting the win and then facing Samoa Joe at Dynasty and winning the AEW Championship. It has to happen. It's Swerve Strickland's time now. No more excuses. Let's put the belt on him. He deserves it. And Tony Khan, Mr. Tony Khan, has confirmed that tonight's match will be a number one contenders match with the winner facing Samoa Joe next. Carty, let's go to you first. What are your thoughts on this one? Who will walk out the number one contender for Samoa Joe's championship?
Ben, I actually like this match. This is a good match. Two great wrestlers who look good in the ring and who make it look real. You just made one very big mistake, Ben, is you thought that Joe was going to lose his title in the next 6 years. Now, I think Swerve's going over, and I think this is going to be a great match as long as Taker, you know what, acts safely,
Oh.
and there's no head drops, none of that Uncle Dave's 18-star nonsense. But I think this is going to be a fine match between two very strong gentlemen who are eventually the winner will lose to Samoa Joe.
Lose to Samoa Joe. Well, we already know your prediction about Samoa Joe is 18, 42, 96-year-old reign or whatever you predict's going to happen. I mean, I've already said it, I think. Unfortunately, Samoa Joe, he's getting on a bit. I think he's dropping it quite soon. But Chaos, what are your thoughts? Is it going to be a Roman Reigns-esque reign for Samoa Joe, or will Swerve be swerving his way all the way to the AEW Championship? That was awful. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was all. I was about to ask you out with that, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
was
You could do
bad.
better than that. So I'm bad. So yeah, going to your question, yeah, no, Samoa Joe should not and will not have a Roman Reigns-esque title reign. As much as I love Joe, yeah, this ain't the time for that right now. Swerve is the new hotness right now. Now this match is gonna be off the chain. Whoever should win. However, it's obviously at the unfortunate expense of Takeshita. Now, this will make it pretty much 2 for 2 of big profile matches that Takeshita's lost. And sure, obviously he's getting this push, but he's 2 big L's now. But yeah, at the end of it, he's gonna put on a banger of a match. That match against Will Ospreay, chef's kiss, amazing match, and it'll just be there as well. But yeah, Swerve is the new hotness. And yeah, sooner than do it a double or nothing. Give the title to Swerve at double or nothing. I think that's a big enough pay-per-view. That is AEW's like main pay-per-view. If you besides All Out, really, that was their first one in it. So yeah, do it at the MGM Grand. It'll be crazy.
Not at Dynasty.
Yeah. I feel like if they do it at Dynasty, it will be overshadowed because I kind of got my bets on who's going to make a return at Dynasty, and I feel like that, and obviously depending on how they handle it, that will be more talked about than Swerve's title win. I think will overshadow it. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, you could do it at Dynasty, but I think Double or Nothing is the better place to do it. Even because what's that? That's in May. So you could kind of
May 26th. MGM Grand.
Yeah. Oh, my partner's birthday. So yeah, she will not be seeing me that day. Okay, cool. I'm joking. But it'll be great. I can't wait for it. I just feel bad for Takeshita because he needs, even though he's getting this push somewhat, but he's had 2 major losses. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I mean, Takeshita's push is about as stable as your internet connection, Chaos. I mean, it is just up and down.
Shots fired.
But we
might hear something in the
it's not been a good internet week here at Wrestling Republic. I mean, Clark had to get on the phone with the internet cable because they did like some work on his internet right before we were going live on Monday. So he had to call them up the first 10 minutes of the show and be like, put the internet back on. And they did it. But internet clearly hates us internationally. The Wi-Fi,
clearly.
The fibers, the fiber optic broadbands don't like us, clearly. But let's look in the comments. Bobby Batito's excited to see Mercedes Moné tonight on Dynamite. Chris Leclerc saying Swerve Strickland wins and beats Samoa Joe for the AEW World title. Agreed, Chris. And
there you go. There you go, Chris.
Chris finally going for the favorites ones. And Bobby Batito saying maybe Takeshita should be going for Roderick Strong's belt. That would certainly be an interesting one. But, Shad, what do you think heading into Takeshita versus Swerve tonight? Dynamite, who will walk out the number one contender?
So I'm surprised by you, Ben, because I always thought this was a kind of a match that falls with where's the story? Why are these two fighting tonight, right?
Well, it's a number one contenders fight at least.
Okay. I did notice that the standings are relevant again. So salute to Tony Khan.
Brought them back.
He must have watched the NCAA tournament like that's a good idea that they have these numbers. Oh wait, my bad. you know, collision was awful. But anyways, that's neither here or there. Um, I'm excited for this match. I would be a fool if I said I wasn't excited for this match because Takeshita and Swerve are two of the best in-ring wrestlers on the AEW roster. I don't believe they've fought before, so this is a fresh matchup. I'm not gonna go and jump and say this was a dream match because I wasn't dreaming about it, but you throw it on my flyer on my TL, I'm gonna be excited for it. So I'm definitely hyped for it. And I agree to y'all's points, Mr. Leader of the Mogul Embassy. Sorry, Cardi Cornette. Swerve is gonna be winning this match, and I think this is Swerve's time. I every Thursday speak highly of Swerve. I think he is undeniable. I think the star power is there, and if AW does not strike while the iron is hot, I don't know what Tony Khan is doing, bro. Because this guy has everything made to be your world champion. I mean, he can wrestle bell for bell. He has the aesthetic of looking like a superstar. He's incredible on the mic. He's telling some of the best stories in regards to feuds. He's got the over manager. Everything checks off boxes wise for Swerve. And I think he's the perfect person to get the title off of Samoa Joe. That's nothing against Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is a legend. I think he's the perfect transitional champion getting off of Max. But this is Swerve's time. And I agree with Chaos's point. I don't know if I want this match at Dynasty for that same reason. If we're,
Oh,
getting Max back at Dynasty, I agree. That's going to overshadow what should be a monumental moment for many different reasons. One, Swerve will be the first African American world champion in AEW history. Two, Swerve deserves the moment, bro. Like he
yeah.
needs to have that type of moment. So I want it to be at a pay per view like Double or Nothing because that is a big time pay per view. It's in Vegas. The lights are out. Like it'll be a special moment. In regards to Takeshita, I man, it's hard because I do think there's roles in wrestling, and you can't always be the guy at all times. I think that's what keeps you in this business. You kind of got to be the dude who takes the losses. But Takeshita's never really been a guy who's been a man getting a bunch of wins and it leading to something. He's always kind of just been I'm gonna give you a good match, and I'm either gonna win against someone below my status, or I'm gonna lose to someone bigger than me. As of late, I mean, I know he's beating Jericho and stuff, but I want to see more of a direction for him because he's a guy who has been there for a little bit of time now, and he's got like an immense amount of potential as a superstar. Like even past being so great in ring wise, he looks like a beast. Like, and he looks
Mm.
like he will just beat you, he'll beat you down, man. Like I
Yeah.
think you got something, and you got the manager and Callis. I think they should, get the Callis family some wins for Takeshita. And I mean, yeah, potentially you got like 2055 mid card titles. Let him hold one of them.
I bet they'll
No,
introduce a new one tonight as well, randomly. But I mean, Shad, I agree with most of what you said there, apart from one thing, because I actually think Takeshita does win against the main event stars. I think it's the people in his own, category, the mid card category, who he usually loses against. I mean, it
yeah,
makes no sense. It
no,
really is. This
that
process stop, start, stop, start.
see, that's the thing though. So like an Osprey, you put him against
Mm,
Osprey, like Osprey is, I guess, in line higher than him on the card. But to your
yeah, no,
point,
you're right. Yeah.
they're in the same weight class. Him and Swerve in the same weight class. They don't view him as an Osprey, as a Swerve at the moment. Like he's in a very weird island right now where they're just like, I don't really know where we position you at. And I know, look, I love AEW because they give us these banger matchups every single week. But like if we're seeing him take L's versus people, like you're not gonna be as inclined to do it. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
Shinsuke on Raw too, right? People love
Yeah.
Shinsuke, but Shinsuke be losing like feuds versus the more person that they view higher on the docket than him. And it's like at some point you're just like, yeah, what you gonna do? Like, when are you gonna move up? So, but he'll get his time, I'm sure.
Hopefully, I really hope he does, because he's fairly young. I mean, I think he's not 30 yet, but he's getting close to 30, I
I think it's
believe.
26,
20.
27.
20. Oh, that's younger
Oh,
than I actually thought.
he's right. He's right in his prime.
But
Yeah.
the crazy thing is, though, this is the nuts thing about Takeshita. I think he's been in this business for since he was 14.
Like
He's
12 years.
honestly had so many, he's had multiple careers, and he's only 26 or whatever. I can't believe it. So I do hope you're right. And I definitely do think that, more people know him than they have previously. But at the same time, the man's beaten 2 former AEW champions, and you haven't, ran with either of those wins. Why would you have your AEW champions, or former AEW champions, lose if it's not for a good storyline reason?
I'll be honest with you. If I was to book for him, I'd get him wins first and foremost, and I'd get a feud with Callis and him versus Copeland, and I'd possibly have him be the guy who gets the title off of Copeland at some point.
That
I
would
think
be nice.
I think that could be good for him.
Some new blood.
And people love Copeland. Like, if you see, for those who don't know Takeshita like that, they see him get the title off of Copeland, they're gonna be like, "Oh, who is this dude? He must be some serious." So,
yeah, I mean, I'd love to see anybody beat Copeland for the title, but unfortunately, I actually think he's he's not a real champion, basically, right? He's not a real champion. Christian Cage still is champion in my box. I will not stop talking about that. Adam Copeland's actions were disgusting. They bring a tear to my eye. He split up a phenomenal family. I mean, what absolute monster hit somebody in the parts unknown while their own son and wife watches that? It is absolutely disgusting. It is despicable. And it's the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe, 5 stars. Yeah, what, Chaos?
I was just saying, thank God it's the end of the show. I didn't want to hear your nonsense.
Oh, I thought there was something else going on there. You're frozen though. You're frozen in a position where you're holding the mic. That is quite interesting. Yeah, anyway, guys, we'll see you very, very soon. Thank you all for watching the show, and we will see you guys tomorrow.